Wing Creations Polymer Clay Tutorial. Choose your colors. One color for the body and one color for accents. Time to pick your eye choice. I chose cabochons. You can use beads or even paint them. Your choice. Here are the tools you will need to make your dragon. This is a dotting tool. This is an X-Acto knife. Flat edge silicone tool. Then you will need a long flat razor. My dental hook tool. This is my favorite piece to use. This is a ball tool, which you'll use for the eyes. And finally, this is a needle tool. Finally, you will need a rolling pin to help flatten certain. Let's make a dragon, y'all. Okay, we are going to use blue for our body color. Here, we're going to break off a piece and we're going to roll it into a circle. Now for my little trick, we're going to work on making the muzzle. You're going to make a small circle, and then you're going to cut it in half with your X-Acto blade. Attach said piece to the dragon. At this point, you will either use your ballpoint tool or your dental hook, and you're going to slowly connect the muzzle to the head. Here you can see how clean the head is. I'm a perfectionist and I'm going to smooth out the pieces a little bit more. Now a little trick to make the eye indents. You're going to take both your thumbs and you're going to press gently on the head to make the indents for the eyes, as you can see here. Now place the head down and we will come back to it in a moment. We're going to work on the body now. Here you need to take another bit of clay and you're going to roll it again into a ball. But once it's in a ball, I want you to move it into the shape of a teardrop. As you see, I'm going to slowly elongate it, and this is going to let you make the tail and the body. You can slowly curve it and tap that head so it's nice and flat, because you're going to need to attach your head to the top of it. Now it's time to add the wire to the body. Now you're going to need a piece of wire and a pair of cutters to cut it down to the right size. You do not want your piece tipping over in the toaster oven when the clay gets warm. So use your needle tool, poke a hole, and then you're going to place either wire, a toothpick, or if you don't have wire or a toothpick, you can also use a paper clip and cut it down. I've done that in the past. Now you're going to attach the head. Now, as you see, it is starting to look like a dragon. I am going to use my hook tool to go around the dragon and connect the head fully to the body. Now you'll see I take my time with this. I don't want to rush it. I want it to look as professional as possible. Now remember, this is your first dragon, so it will not be as wonderful as you want it to be, maybe, or it could be the most amazing thing you've ever seen. So you can see I'm cleaning up the seams using my thumb and my pointer finger. Be careful you don't smush the head. Now it's time to make the legs of your dragon. You are going to roll into a circle, and then you're going to turn it kind of into a teardrop. And as you can see right here, we're getting ready to cut it in half. Now these will be the legs for your dragons. We will attach the feet in a little bit. But first, we're going to put one on each side, as you can see as I'm doing here. Okay, I'm going to show you that you can use the dotting tool if you do not have the dental hook. See how I'm slowly pushing the clay? Now it does leave more of a textured versus the dental tool, but you will go back and you will smooth out each side with your fingers. Your thumb and your pointer finger are very helpful when it comes to sculpting. And the more you sculpt, you'll form something called muscle memory with your hands, and your pieces will just start to come together just like that. As you can see, I even use it to clean it up a little bit with a dotting tool. I just wanted to show you could use either tool to help you sculpt your dragon. Right now, I'm not too happy with the positioning of the neck, so since there's wire in it, I'm going to bend it. So I'm a little more happier with the positioning. You can do this with your piece too if you'd like. Now it's time to set the dragon down, and we're going to use our accent color, which is white. We are going to use our hands to warm up the clay, and then we're going to flatten this out and use our rolling pin to make the belly for the dragon. Don't get frazzled if your clay sticks to your tile. It is trial and error, and now we're going to use either an X-Acto blade or the long blade to cut out the shape of our dragon's belly scales. As you can see, having the long X-Acto blade lets you get more precision, and it's pretty even on both sides. Now we're going to lay this down on the belly. As you can see, I'm taking my time making sure it's exactly where I want it before I completely attach it. Now I'm going to use my thumbs and my pointer finger to make sure it's exactly where I want it. Now we're going to add the eyes. Use the ball tool to gently push onto the clay. And we're going to do this on both sides. This is going to allow us to have little socket holes for each eye so they sit nicely on the face. As you put the eyes in, do it gently. You don't want to push too hard, because if you push too hard on the clay, you can smush your head. And then you're just going to get frustrated. Now it's time to make our dragon's feet. Let's roll a ball, and we're going to cut it in half. You're going to try to do your best to make sure they're even. One is slightly bigger, if you can tell, so I'm going to even this out. Still a little too big. Again, trial and error, guys. Now you're going to kind of make a little teardrop shape with the feet, and you're going to make sure that they look the right size you want. You might want really big feet. You might want slightly smaller feet. I wanted slightly smaller feet, so I decided to make them a little smaller. Now you're going to take the X-Acto blade and you're going to cut 2 slits in each one. I like making the middle toe slightly longer than the other 2 toes, so I'm going to repeat this process on both the feet. Now remember, this is your dragon, so you want it to look the way you want it to be. So don't get overwhelmed and do it slowly. This is translucent liquid sculpty, and you're going to use this as a tacky adhesive to attach both feet to the legs. This way you don't have to worry about them falling off. You can also use super glue if you're like me, but since you're new to this, let's stick with the translucent liquid sculpty. Now it's time to tear off a piece to make the arms. We are going to roll basically a long snake shape, and then you're going to taper it at both ends. This will let you kind of have an evenness on both sides. Now cut one and make sure the other one's about the same size that you're happy with. And once you have that, give them a quick look, and then you're going to make sure that they're right for the body. Now, as you see what I'm doing, I am slowly adding the leg, and we will do the same with the other side. Now, when you're happy with the positioning, we're going to use our hook tool or our dotting tool, and we're going to attach the legs so the clay is seamlessly moved together. Now that you're happy with the legs, we're going to just smooth some pieces out a little bit. Just make sure they're looking the way we want. Now is time to work on the wings. We are going to roll out some more white polymer clay, and here we are going to roll it out and make sure we have a nice flat sheet on the table to work with. Once we have that, we'll be able to cut out the shapes of the polymer clay. Here you're going to need your X-Acto knife. You can either make a triangle shape or you can curve it like I did. If it's your first time, try a triangle. Now, lightly put your second piece of clay on top of the other clay, and you should be able to, as you see, pull them apart, and you're going to have identical wings. Now it's time to use the blue clay. We are going to roll this out like a snake, but we're going to slowly taper it and point it at the ends, and you're going to outline the wings. This way you will have 2 dragon wings. That's right, just like that. And you're going to repeat the process on the other wing. Now you're going to add a center line to the dragons. Again, roll it out. You're going to cut it in half. Make sure both sides are even. And then you're going to attach it in the middle. You can either use your dental hook or your ball tool, and you're going to make sure they're attached seamlessly because you want it to be even. You want it to look good. Now you're going to want to have 2 little pieces of wire. You can either use a paper clip, or if you have wire on your table, this you're going to pierce into the wings. So when you attach your wings to your dragon, wings for 5 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. This is just a pre-bake. Now take your silicone tool and you're going to press to make a mouth. Take your time with this. You do not want to mess up the head, so slowly you can open the mouth. If you'd like to keep the mouth closed, that's also something you can do. It's your choice. This is your dragon, and I'm just here to give you tips. Now it's time to use the white clay that we have out, and I'm going to use a little circle cutter I have, and I am going to add some pads to the bottom of the feet. I just think it gives it a little accent, and it looks cute. Almost forgot. Use your dotting tool, and you are going to add little holes for the nose. You want your dragon to be able to breathe. Now we're going to add little claws to our dragon's feet to give it another element. It will just make your dragon pop a little bit more, and it'll have little toe beans, which who doesn't like toe beans? Repeat the same process on the back feet as well. Now the dragon has toe beans on all of its toes, and it just looks adorable. Now we're going to work on adding little side spikes to its face. This way, we're going to just start giving it some more detail and making it pop. As you can see, you can press both these on. You don't have to use a dental tool like I am. It's up to you. If you want to have it so it's a little bit more showy, that's up to you. So I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side. Make sure it's nice and clean, because you've been doing this for as long as I am, you start to become a little bit of a perfectionist. Now we're going to work on making the horns for the head. As you can tell, he looks like he's missing some stuff. So here we go. We're going to roll out 2 pointy ends and make sure they're both the same size. And then we're going to take some of the translucent Sculpty and we're going to put it on the head. These way the horns adhere better to the head and you don't have to worry about them falling off. Again, if you're like me and you're a little bit more out there, you can use super glue. It will attach them, but it will not come back off without ripping the clay. Now we're going to add 2 more horns because this little guy, he's feisty. So here we go again, making 2 little points. Now these horns are going to be slightly bigger than the other ones because these are going to be the predominant horns on the top of his head. Now here I am curving them a little bit, just getting them how I like them, and adding the liquid Sculpty so both of these attach the way they should. Remember when placing the horns on the head not to press too hard and be gentle, because again your face could squish it and then you're going to cry because you put all this time and effort into making this dragon. As you can see, both wings have finished cooking. We're going to set them to the side and let them cool down because you do not want to attach hot wings to the clay because you take the chance of it breaking. Now we are going to work on making spikes to go down his head, down his back to his tail. Now you can use the white clay, you can use another clay. I, for my first time doing a tutorial, thought it would be easier just to use 2 different shades. So I'm making blue spikes to go down the back. Continue to add the spikes all the way to the base of the tail. Now that you've added the spikes, it's time to attach the wings. As you see with the needles in there, it lets the wings go in very easily. Now you can push them in and leave it at that, or you can be like me and take where the clay is still soft and blend it up into the wing so it's one seamless piece. It's your choice. If you want it to be just pushed in, go for it. But if you want it seamless, give it a shot. Give it a try. The only way you're going to learn is by trying. Now, I decided I was going to give him little eyebrows. So here I am, making sure they're even on both sides. And I'm going to taper them, lay it down, and then I'm going to twirl it just to give it a little bit more shaping. I just think it adds a little bit to the dragon, and I just love how it comes together. So I'm doing it on this side as well. Dragon for 25 minutes at 270 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's the dragon all finished with a few extra details of spots. Enjoy!